Hello, everyone. I'm honored to be invited by Touch a Life Foundation to speak at their Worldwide Kindness Day celebration. I would like to share with you my experiences with giving and sharing and some of the lessons that I've learned along the way. My name is Prabhu Goel. I was born in India, graduate school in the US, and in 1982, I started my first company, which I sold in 1990. And all of a sudden in 1990, I found myself with a lot of wealth that was not consumable in my lifetime, certainly not in a prudent way. And the question that arose for the family, my wife and I, is what are we going to do with this money? Or with the extra money that we had? And after some deliberation on that, we came to the conclusion that this money was not ours to keep, that we were really custodians of this wealth. And it was mandatory for us to do the right thing with this. And actually, in doing so, in doing the right thing, it would make us very happy. So, after thinking about it some more, we decided that we had to have a meaningful impact on the lives of others who needed that money more than we did. And towards that end, we settled upon the idea that we would make a meaningful transformation in the lives of over 10,000 children in India. We didn't know what meaningful transformation meant at the time, but we had just picked the idea of a meaningful transformation. It took us another 4 years to set up the foundation and pick on the mission of the foundation. So we chose to fund the very bright but underprivileged, financially underprivileged students in India who were looking to study engineering or medicine. And in the process, we would transform their lives meaningfully, because from a life of being not a professional to becoming a professional, it would make a material difference in their lives. So we decided to fund their scholarships. That program is now over 26 years old. And we're very proud to say that we have supported over 20,000 students in India, many of whom who have already graduated and some who are currently studying for their engineering or medicine degrees. So this act of giving, this act of sharing actually instigated others to join us. It actually inspired others to come together. It provided a platform for others to come together and give, both in terms of time and in terms of money. This was not an effort that we could have done by ourselves. It was impossible. Neither the funding, nor the time, nor the energy, nor the scale, the kind of people and resources were required to support the scale was very, very large. So in the end, we've ended up today with a situation where we have several thousand donors and volunteers that are involved in this program that are providing support for this foundation. So in any cause that we get engaged in where we're giving or sharing, it becomes a natural to develop a platform that attracts others to the same platform where it becomes their cause. We cannot be possessive of the cause. This is not our cause. This is not my cause. Sorry, this is not my cause. This is actually our cause. For everybody that joins in, it becomes their cause. And that is the way that these causes succeed most of the time. I want to share with you somebody that actually, when I go back to the motivation for what motivated us to do this, we really felt good about the idea of giving, the idea that we would not consume that wealth. Consumption of wealth is a fleeting pleasure, whereas giving to others who where it makes a meaningful difference in their lives, really provides a lifetime of satisfaction and happiness. So, really, the motivation for that is this happiness that comes from giving. One major inspiration for me has been an individual, a billionaire by the name of Chuck Feeney, who was a billionaire that was worth at $9 billion, created one of the largest private philanthropies in the world, something called the Atlantic Philanthropy, and gave away all but 2 million of his wealth. 2 million out of 9 billion was what he kept for himself. The rest he gave away. And he lived a very, very simple life. I would bet that he has achieved one of the highest levels of happiness and satisfaction that as a custodian of the wealth that he generated. What would my advice be to others? Is I think you have to pursue, when you pursue a cause, when you pursue giving or you pursue sharing, you have to pursue it literally like you're doing a startup. When you do a startup, you have to attract others to become co-founders, to become team members, to be able to make a team that can execute. It requires you attract investors, because without funding, a lot of these efforts do not go anywhere. And then you have to have the proper game plan, the proper strategy that you have to execute to. And finally, you have to remember that you have a customer. And the customer is the target of your philanthropy, your giving, your charity, your sharing. And you have to remember that in the scheme of things, the person that's your customer is the person that's receiving that sharing or the giving. And he or she must be the centerpiece of your effort. He must or she must be where all your attention is focused. That is your number one goal. And customer is king. And that's literally the way that one has to operate in order to end up with a very successful cause that then flourishes and succeeds. And then the people that come into the cause, whether they're giving their time, whether they're giving their money, it's all theirs. This is not about me. This is not about one person. This is not about somebody who had the idea. It's about the people that went through and executed this. So today, when I look back and I say, how is this foundation for excellence done? I would say it has worked successfully thanks to the contribution of thousands of donors, thousands of volunteers who gave their time and money. And we say thanks to having the customers who were there for us to be able to help, because without them, we could not have made this a success. Treat it like a startup, treat your cause like a startup, bring in the founders, bring in the co-contributors, bring in the investors, and most of all, focus on the beneficiary as the customer. Thank you.